Happening, everybody? Welcome to the cave. Everybody that's returning, guess who I got today?
What's going on? It's Mike.
I got the original co-host. He came today.
Hey man, I just first two episodes I just wasn't able to make it, man. So
Well,
had some stuff going on.
here's the
So
funny
we
thing.
here now though.
Yeah,
So
here's the funny thing about this is that this was like the brainchild of this young man right here. So we really needed you when we were trying to get through the struggle for the first episode. I think that would have really set us off a little bit more. But at the same time, we got through it. We got people to watch. So uh, we're here now, like he said, and we're happy to see if you know he's got some new insights to stuff that maybe we may have missed, maybe things we haven't talked about. And this is being his first show. We just want to make sure that everybody understands that this man right here, I think he got something to say about a couple of things, that he's seen, and things that he's heard. So we want to give him a chance to get those things off his chest first of all, and thank you everybody that's watched our first couple of episodes. We appreciate all the views. Uh, I'm still waiting for my trolls, man.
man, that's what I'm waiting on
I'm
too.
still,
Man, comment down below, man, because
I'm still waiting
I
for
want
my
to hear
trolls.
what y'all got to say, man.
But it's been what? It's been a hectic, you know, first week of a Super Bowl championship for the Super Bowl defending back-to-back champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and we've talked in length when Dorian was here about things that happened and the things that we've seen, and we had our own ideas, and I'm sure you've heard all the comments I've heard all kinds of comments from 49er fans who have given a lot of lip service to the reasons why they lost, or Shanahan's at fault, or you know there was a lot of holding on the Chiefs.
Man, that's the favorite. That's the best. That's the one they go to every time, man. It's refs and holding or whatever. Man. It's ridiculous, man.
But what's funny about that is that it's holding on every call. So I don't really particularly care.
Yeah, the trenches is gonna have holes every play. So
every play
is gonna be a potential hold.
Yeah.
So that's irrelevant to me.
So and the Chiefs still got called for more penalties in that game than the 49ers did.
Yeah, exactly.
So we kind of like to hear from you on what are some of the things that you took away from the game. We'll go through this. It'll be a little short segment, and then we'll transition into other things that we have had talks about. But what did you see that was the main thing that you think, or your main takeaway from that game in particular, and what do you see going forward as far as Chiefs in the future, especially the near quick future, that because the combine is coming,
All right.
the free agency is going to be coming. We got the whole situation where franchise tagging will be coming. So what do you see as far as the quick turnaround as far as getting ready to start up for the new season?
So the first, what you said about the game, the Super Bowl. I just think the 49ers just kind of got away from their game plan, what they do best all season. That's just running the ball.
Yeah.
So like, the Chiefs have done a good job against not even just the 49ers, but against the Bills and the Ravens, as far as keeping that run game contained.
Yeah.
When everybody was saying, because that was the biggest thing I heard all like before the game, the entire playoffs, was that the Chiefs had the worst or one of the worst run defenses in the league.
True.
And they couldn't stop the run.
True.
And the Chiefs, I think they do certain things by design to where they don't want a quarterback to be able to throw deep down the field. So they'll give you those runs.
Yeah.
And they'll let you have that because now you're not getting big plays or big chunk plays down the field.
Yeah.
And they're not getting into the red zone, and stuff like that. So I think the Spags, I think he just does things by design. And I don't think none of those teams saw that the Chiefs run game was going to be able to, keep them contained like that, especially when they played the Ravens. True. I don't think anybody expected that. They completely went away from what they do. Lamar didn't really do much of anything in terms of running the ball.
I think he had one or two real good runs.
Yeah. So
but I also think that has something to do with the fact that when Nandi got hurt.
Yeah, that's another big factor.
Yeah. Nandi got hurt. I think bringing in Big Mike Pennell.
Right.
And giving him a chance to come in. I mean, you got to think about it. This Mike has got multiple Super Bowl rings now.
I think that's 2.
Coming in.
I'm not
he
even,
wasn't there for
he wasn't there for the first one, I don't think.
No, yeah. I want to say he was. He was there.
Was he there?
I want to say
honestly
he was there
don't
for
remember
the first one. But I will say it's either one or two.
He's got 2 at least.
But he's got 2. But the thing was he came in and I'm gonna be honest with you. He gave Trent Williams
problems. Oh yeah. It's funny. I seen Trent Williams get pushed back by like about 3-4 yards by L'Jarius Sneed. I thought that was.
He had to have caught him off balance.
You didn't see that?
I mean, he had to have though.
Man, L'Jarius came out of nowhere and just. That was crazy.
And you right about that as far as the run game and taking away, and like you said, Spags does things by design. So I think that's that's something that a lot of people don't key in on, especially guys who don't pay attention to football. As far as scheme goes, analytics, who's going to be where at certain times.
You got to keep in mind, I think people don't understand too. Like, you got to think about the DBs this man has and what they've been able to do all season. So when you got those kind of DBs that are able to contain those receivers, those top-notch receivers, you don't necessarily have to worry about, getting. You could take that risk with keeping that run game or allowing them to run the ball from here and there.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about them getting those big plays off because they're gonna try to force you to, pass the ball and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think Spags was phenomenal this entire season.
Yeah,
not even just the playoffs.
He was
like
lights out.
The entire season, Spags was. He had something for everybody.
Man. He was pretty much lights out, and I do agree. And what irritated me was the simple fact. I shit you not. People discredited the Chiefs' defense pretty much throughout the whole playoffs. Now, there were guys who said, oh, they've got the number 2 defense. This is that.
They were saying we had a top 5, but they weren't like,
But in every game, we were considered the underdog, right?
Yeah, that's wild.
So for Spags to do what he did, this might be one of the greatest Super Bowl runs if you look at what the Chiefs had to do.
Hey, Dad, check this out. So, this team is the first team in NFL history, the defense, to hold every team the entire season under 30 points. That's never happened. In NFL history.
Never happened.
So when you think about all the great defenses that's come through this league throughout the years, nobody has done that except for this Kansas City Chiefs defense.
That's regular season and postseason.
Yes, exactly. That's through the entire season, regular season and playoffs. So that's pretty phenomenal.
That's pretty phenomenal. So now that we've talked a little bit about that, and we see that the present was it was fruitful. We got us a Super Bowl championship back to back out of it. Mahomes was another Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, we
right?
seen that coming. I will argue though, there could have been a couple Super Bowl other MVPs.
Very true.
I wouldn't have been mad. Like Mahomes deserved it as well. It could have went other places as well. I will say that there was I can at least name 2 of them.
I said McDuffie.
Yeah, I
just
think he was one of
I
them.
thought McDuffie was lights
Yeah,
out.
I could argue like it's not a cute pick, but Bucker, listen,
Yeah, Harrison Bucker he's been solid all season.
he been solid all season.
So we getting to that point now where franchise tagging is it's here. So March 5th, I think, is the deadline, if I remember right. I can't quite remember, but I think it's around that time. I'm not for sure, but I want to say if you look at the guys that are available, to be franchise tagged, right? There's a couple of guys that are on there, and you're looking at what the Chiefs have. Do you think the Chiefs franchise tag Chris Jones, or do they do L'Jarius Sneed?
If I had to guess, I would say they franchise Sneed. They franchise tag Sneed, and then they re-sign Jones. Because the thing is, with Jones, you kind of have an idea what you want to sign him for, based off of his age, and then as far as that goes. So with Sneed is so much younger, you could kind of gauge how you want to go for that contract long term. Because Jones is not going to get a long term contract, obviously. I don't. At least I don't think so.
I don't think
I don't. I think it'll be like, if anything, it'll be like a 2-3 year deal. Yeah, maybe.
And so much money guaranteed. Now with L'Jarius, you could actually extend him out.
Exactly.
Maybe a 5-year contract. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes down to extending a corner, right? I look at what happened with J.C. Jackson when he got that big contract when he left.
Man,
listen.
I get what you're saying. Here's the problem I have with that. So J.C. Jackson, he was good, but I don't think he was ever as good as
True. That's not what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm not.
I get what you're saying.
I'm saying it's the simple fact that you pay this man all this money, right? And then he comes out that year with a new contract with a different team. He gets torched, and then all of a sudden he's injured.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
And now you got this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, mind you, the Chiefs wouldn't necessarily be hurt too much as far as the team play goes, because there would be other guys that they have that are sitting and waiting.
Right. And I do believe that if that did happen, like if it came down to that, I do believe Veach and Specs, they're going to find somebody else.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to. Like, whether it's in the draft or
whether
somebody else steps up that's already on the team.
Which could happen.
Which definitely could happen because we got some talented brothers
on. Watson and Joshua Williams. I mean, those guys are still sitting there. They're waiting. I keep thinking about that. And to me, I think you're right. I think you have to franchise tag Sneed. Yeah. In order for you to get the deal done with Jones, because we all know that the cap is going to change again. It's going to change again. So I think you have to do that. I think you have to do those things in order for you to get to the point where, okay, we've locked Jones in. We franchise tag Sneed. Now, after this year is done, kind of look at what he did for the year and then come back and revisit the contract negotiations. Right?
I would even say, too, let's say they're not able to find, like, they tag him and they still can't get a deal done. You tag him, now you can maybe possibly trade him to get picks. Just it's not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, that's a scenario where you can have a little leverage if you do tag them. It just depends on if they do or not. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think that is that's one of those things where I get to the point and I look at this and I go, man, I hate when we get to this point when we got good players.
Right, you can't pay everybody.
Good players, and I know we can't pay everybody, but you want to because you want to bring the whole band back, right?
Facts.
So you want to bring the whole band back, but somebody's gonna be disgruntled, and it kind of worried me a little bit when I heard Sneed. He was on the what's her name? Can't think of her name.
I know what you're talking about.
Adams. I think her name was Amy Adams or Kay Adams, whatever was her show, and she's interviewing Sneed, and she's saying, is there anything you want to say to the Chiefs front office? He's like, pay me.
Rightfully so.
I get it.
Yeah, I like I said, I get it. Like, I mean, the man,
and he did say on there, I don't think they can keep me and Chris both.
We're gonna see, man.
So
Maybe Veach can work out some magic.
Man, I sure hope if he could do that,
Yeah, exactly.
and we were able to keep them both.
I would rather be able to keep them both than like sign any like free agent as far as like receiver go, because I think we're just gonna draft somebody anyway.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this receiving thing. You know, everybody's talking about Mike Evans, this is that, or
yeah, that's not
Marquise Hollywood Brown, or Pittman or somebody. And to be honest with you, nobody. This is just me. But nobody really moves the needle for me.
The only one that moves the needle for me is T. Higgins, but I don't think that's happening.
I don't either.
So
I think he's gonna be probably the number one recruited or the number one sought after guy.
Yeah, if they could get T. Higgins though, like if that happened, man, y'all better be ready.
Bums away.
Listen,
but when you have these type of things that are available to you, and you're the Chiefs. Like I said, these are the type of problems. These are good problems to have.
It's the cost of winning. That's what happens when you win. Like when you win, dudes is gonna want to get paid for what they've done and what their what they've brought to the team. So I mean, it's understandable. But
I get it.
Like I said, even when the Patriots was winning all those years, they couldn't keep everybody.
You said something funny to me today, because when we were talking about these things, and we were talking about how people are complaining about how the Chiefs. They cheated or it's rigged to win. It's amazing how it's rigged to win now.
That's what I'm saying. But my issue with that is like I was telling you earlier, I get where Patriots fans are coming from now.
Yeah, because for years we heard all this.
Because even I did it. Like, oh, the league is rigged and Tom Brady's cheating. Even though I do think a little something was going on there.
Deflate
a little bit. Yeah. But like I get what they be saying though, because like, bro, y'all didn't say that when the Rams won. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Y'all
didn't say that then. They didn't say nothing about the league being rigged or nothing like that.
It's never rigged when it's anybody. I've heard the most crap from 49er fans and Cowboy fans.
No, hold on. You forgot another one.
Oh,
the Eagles.
The Eagles fans. Yes, that's true.
They might be worse. Bengals too.
You know what?
Bengals fans, you might be right. Tripping.
But the one thing I'll say is this: like I told a guy, I said, when it comes down to it. And I know we got a little off topic just for a second there, but it's true. The thing about it is, it's never rigged when you've won your championships.
Exactly.
But now that it's this team that everybody said wasn't gonna be shit,
right?
They'll never do this. They got the worst front office in history, the worst ran organization. I've heard all of it. Right? I've heard all of these things, and now here they are. The best ran organization in the NFL, because they do it, and they do it without having, to pay all of these guys. They
pay the core.
They pay the core, and then they bring in guys to bring in. Hey, can we plug this guy? It's plug and play, right? Plug and play for these guys. But when it was those guys and they were winning, it was we the best. Y'all suck.
Yeah, because my thing is like when we lost to the Bengals that year, I didn't see nobody saying, "Oh, we lost because of the refs," and
we lost because we
just lost. We had complete control of that game in the first half,
and we screwed it off.
It's as simple as that. Like,
and that's what irritates me is when I see that I'm like, NFL is rigged now. It's in y'all's favor, and I'm thinking to myself, why would the NFL want to rig it for this small market ass team that ain't never did shit in 50-some years, if you let y'all tell it. But now all of a sudden, they're rigging it in our favor because of what? The money they're going to make out of the Midwest compared to New York City or California or Texas? Make it make sense.
Man, it's crazy. Now, you want to talk about being rigged. Don't get me started on that 2018 AFC Championship game. Y'all don't ever want to bring that up.
Yeah.
When y'all want to talk about that roughing the passer.
They don't want to talk about that.
Come on, man.
We'll go to that another time.
I'm just saying, like...
We can do that on a...
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, stuff like that, when you say stuff like that, that's a real... That's a real issue that happened that shouldn't have happened.
True.
That cost us the ability to go to the Super Bowl.
They'll say that the reason it cost us is because of D4 being
but that was after.
Yeah, I think
the rough in the past.
Yeah, I think that was crap. But you know, hey, that's the thing. Like you said, when it comes down to it, you got to take your licks, and these are the things that happen. And you can't control everything during the game. So the things that you can control, those are the things you try to take care of. Right.
Exactly.
You do them the right way. And so to me, I'd say, you know what? It is what it is. We got our 3 championships. We've done it back to back. We have the ability now to do something that no other team has ever done. And that is in the Super Bowl history. And I know I've heard all these people talking about Green Bay did it. Green Bay didn't win 3 Super Bowls.
That wasn't a Super Bowl. Yeah. It literally says since the Super Bowl era started.
Yeah.
That was before the Super Bowl.
It's sad. It's sad when
people just y'all just be
reaching. But
I think it's hilarious.
But, you know, to me, I think they have an opportunity to do something that's never been done. And I love it. I love it for the fact that if it was to happen, that is something that we actually could say as far as fans go of our team. No other team has done, and we can always use that as, you know, I mean, hell, the Miami Dolphins do it with the team that went in 1972 that won every game, that never lost.
Undefeated.
And every year they come back when a team that's almost close to going undefeated, they're sitting there, and once the team fails, they pop open a glass of champagne. It's like, gotcha, bitch. No.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's funny. Like, that's the thing. Like, with I think it's the Patriots and the Steelers that are tied for the most Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's great. But then, like, if they three-peat, then we'd have that under our belt. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would argue that that's just it's something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it would be something to be, you know, kind of, you know, upheld. You could be like, yeah, the only team that's ever did this, right? And not to say it'll never happen again, but at this moment in time, if they were to do it, it'd be the only team that's ever done it, right? Exactly. And the first one.
Yeah, okay? Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, you know, when we get to these points where we, you know, we kind of transition, and I told you about the whole thing with the tagging, and you know, we got to transition this player to here, and you know how this is going to work. So the combine is coming up. There's a lot of guys now. We're not going to go into too far depth with this because there's a lot of things still to go as far as, you know,
this draft is loaded.
It's very loaded. It's very loaded. But
certain positions is very loaded.
Yeah. Right now, there's talk about who's going to be the number 1 pick and who is going to go where, right?
We already know who the number 1 pick should be.
But at the same time, so people are still clamoring for Caleb Williams to be the number 1 pick, and they're saying there's no reason why he shouldn't be. But I also think it goes by team's need, right?
True.
So to me, the Bears have the number 1 pick. They could do a number of things if they wanted to do this. They could trade Fields and they could pick Caleb Williams up. They could trade Fields for a number like a 2nd round pick. I don't think he's a 1st round pick. I say a 2nd or 3rd. They could trade him for a 2nd or 3rd, and they could trade it to a team, you know, that's not in their division, nowhere close to, you know, right? I don't know if that's going to happen. To me, the smart move for them would be to keep Fields and get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Bro, you don't pass up on Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm sorry. Bro. You got a quarterback you can work with.
You can work with, and they showed promise towards the end of this season.
Man, Fields was throwing. I caught a couple Bears games, right? Man, Fields was throwing some balls that like were perfect, on the money.
Yeah,
beautiful passes, and dudes just couldn't catch the ball. Like,
I think the Bears are at that point now where like Detroit was that last year before this year. Where, okay, they're moving in the right direction, and all they need is that one little piece and maybe a couple of moves here, small moves that maybe nobody really pays attention to, and it puts them right over that hump.
Listen,
right? And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. with DJ Moore could really be a good catalyst for them. And I'm sorry, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Bruh.
is the best receiver right now. He's like NFL ready.
Yes.
He's the best receiver right now in this draft. To me, that's how I look at it.
That's the number one pick, period. If the Bears whiff on this pick,
it'll be another Bears like thing to do.
Please don't. I would like to see Fields with
Bears fans. Please. Listen, call your GM. Let them know in Bears country you want Marvin Harrison.
You want Marvin, please.
If you don't,
who gets the second pick? Is it the Patriots? I'm pretty sure it's the Patriots.
It's either the Patriots.
I could be wrong.
Or no, it might be the Commanders.
I think it is.
Commanders are third. No, Commanders are third. But regardless, I wouldn't give a damn if whoever first is, you have the pick. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver in this game. Right now in this draft, he would be the best
that man
receiver.
he's literally wide. I could argue he's better than some dudes in the NFL now.
That man is wide the fuck open by the time he gets out of the tunnel.
You want to talk about wide receiver one? Shit. So, I'm telling you, man, that dude. And like I said, that combination, and then you got that dual threat combination with Fields too that you got to worry about. Yeah,
so to me, when I was saying, when we were talking about the draft, there's a lot of players that are going to be available in this draft, and I think, to be honest, one guy said he could see 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10. I'm like,
really? Who?
Yeah, Caleb Williams,
obviously him,
May,
in the top 10?
Michael Penix.
No.
They even saying J.J. McCarthy, and I'm like,
nah. You're reaching. There's too many talented other players at other positions. Hell no.
And to me, I'm going to be honest with you, with as loaded as the draft is at wide receiver, I can see easily 7 to 10 wide receivers going in the first round.
Oh, yeah. Easy. I wouldn't be surprised if it go a little bit more.
I'm just saying, if I was saying, okay, let's just give it a number, kind of be safe.
Right.
I'm going
7. I would say
7 to 10. Is a good area. Okay, I can see that there's 7 to 10 wide receivers that are going to go in the first.
Yeah, because there's always going to be a receiver that gets drafted way
higher than
he should have. Yeah. It's like,
so I just think that we have to look at what a team's needs are, and to me, I don't think every team is going to need a wide receiver. A lot of teams are going to need offensive tackles, defensive tackles, corners, safeties,
edge rushers. Yeah,
it's just going to depend on the team. And some people go, well, they're going to go by what's the the best talent is out there at the moment of their time in the draft, and that's fine. I get that, but if you're drafting a QB and he's the best talent on the board for you,
and you got Patrick Mahomes on your board.
Yeah, you ain't drafting a damn. It's not the best talent. No, you're not. You're not doing that. So I don't want to hear that. So we know the draft is coming. We'll get into the combine as it gets a little bit closer. I wanna take some time to really look at some of these guys that are being, at the combine on the first day, and I think that that gives us a chance to kind of go back and look and see if the Chiefs are just kind of peeking around the corner. I told somebody, I said, the combine will tell you a lot about what the Chiefs are thinking, because if they're over, on defensive line play a lot and over on wide receiver line a lot, you pretty much know what they're going to be trying to do.
Teams is watching the Chiefs too. Don't get it twisted.
Definitely. They've
been watching for the last few years. So
yeah, because everybody decided they were going to go get these speedy wide receivers to try to do what the Chiefs did with Tyreek, and that didn't really work.
And the Chiefs tried to get. Remember, on Sunday, they tried to get Deontay Banks.
They did.
And they tried to get. You see what the Giants did.
Yeah, so they went after him. So sticking with what we do best, we like to take this time to, give a shout out to somebody in this version of our love for the dub. A lot of people still, if you haven't seen this is one of the things that we do when it comes to one of our very own. We come from a town, Wichita, Kansas, and we like to give credit to those who have come before us and, basically spark the pathway for athletes to come out of here. And a lot of times those athletes, they do and they don't get credit for what they've done. And a lot of things that I like to say are, we've got different athletes that come out of here, male, female. It doesn't matter who they are. But on what has recently happened with Caitlin Clark and her, supposedly breaking the woman's scoring title. Or
She a bucket getter.
yeah, she's a bucket getter. I can't even deny that.
She be pulling up
She's
from the
bad.
logo.
But I'd like to give honor to our very own Lynette Woodard, who is right out of Wichita, Kansas. He said salute. Yeah, give her that.
She was bad.
She was bad. Lynette Woodard was a graduate from North High, which is like right down the road from here. She was a member of 2 state titles with North High in girls basketball. And the thing about it is, it's a different era at that time. So Lynette doesn't get a lot of talk. A lot of people don't talk about her. And a lot of times it gets forgotten because she didn't really get a chance to play in her heyday, in her prime in the WNBA because it wasn't around, right? Uh, she went to college at KU from 1978 to 1981. She was a 4-time All-American, and she averaged 26 points a game. And at that time,
that was buckets.
She scored over 3,600 points while she was at KU. To this day, 3,600 points in a collegiate
in any
I don't care
college,
women,
NBA,
I don't care if
WNBA.
it's women's or men's.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is amazing. That is an amazing feat, right? So she was the first KU woman to have her jersey retired, and one of college basketball's career scoring leaders. So to this day, she's still one of the true scoring leaders in women's college basketball, right? And a lot of times that will get lost because especially with Caitlin Clark doing what she's done here recently, so a lot of people are gonna, I don't want it to get glossed over. I don't want it to get lost. So I'm wanting to give a tribute to Lynette Woodard for that. So she was the first woman to ever play in the Harlem Globetrotters. That never happened before her. She was the first. She's honored here in Wichita, and they have a center for her, where she is named. It's the Lynette Woodard Center. And we look at those things and we try to keep. I love it when we put our heroes that have done things or accomplished certain things from Wichita in a certain light. And I just want to say, on the precipice of what's happened with Caitlin Clark and with Lynette Woodard being from Wichita, I just wanted her to understand if she ever gets a chance to see this. And for those who know Lynette or those who don't know, you can look her up and you can find out all these things about her that we appreciate what she did for the dub.
Yeah, we're paying homage for
sure. Until next time, guys, this is the Cave Cast.